News 4 Midday starts now.
Well, Hanukkah is here, and with it comes all those yummy fried foods.
But the goodies don't have to ruin your diet. Take a look. The kosher baker, Paula Scheuer, is here. She's going to share with us secrets from her new cookbook, The Healthy Jewish Kitchen. Hanukkah also means 8 days of absolutely delicious, mouth-watering food, but the treats do not have to wreck your diet for the whole year. The kosher baker, Paula Scheuer, is out with a new cookbook, The Healthy Jewish Kitchen. She's joining us this morning with some alternatives for the holidays. So thank you for being here.
Happy to be here.
We're so happy to have you. How did you go from all those delicious sweets to something concentrating on the healthier
Well, because
side of
I
things?
love both eating and making dessert, and as does my family, I've had to develop strategies for eating lighter holiday meals so that we have room for dessert.
Okay,
so
I
I
like
wrote a
it.
whole cookbook that lightens up your meal so that you will always have room for dessert.
Space, and my son always says he has his dinner column and his dessert column.
Right, but you want to have there's ways today to make the desserts healthier, and so that's what I've tried to do so that people feel better about eating holiday food.
I love it. Okay, so here you have potato latkes, which I can smell, and they smell so good. With
So don't they
scallion,
look like they
right?
were fried?
Yes, they do.
So they were actually baked in the oven. It's a simple method where I basically take
Which
like
saves so much fat, right?
It saves so much fat because look how little oil you need on a pan. You use double this if you have a bigger pan, and you
Okay.
just brush the pan and you heat in the oven at 450 degrees.
Okay.
And then you heat the pan in the oven for about 5 minutes or so till it gets hot, and then you take your potatoes and you shred them up in the processor.
Very cool.
All right, flying
Grab
potatoes.
this one, flying potatoes.
Just
That-
like what
that makes
happens
it
at
fun.
home. It always happens at home. And then,
Okay.
and whenever you're working with shredded potatoes, always make sure you have lemon juice nearby because that way the potatoes will stay nice and yellow.
Kind of even with
So they're nice
like
and shredded
apples.
here. And I already have in the bowl green onions and white onions that I chopped up as well, just to give it a little extra flavor.
Okay.
So I'm going to add my lemon juice here, and that'll help keep the color, and it never tastes lemony. And I add baking powder for a little lift, salt and pepper, potato starch, and you could use flour too, but if I can make something gluten-free, I always do. And then I'm going to add my eggs. And so I'm doing this while this is in the oven.
Okay.
And
Trying
I
to
mix
get that all
this up.
cohesive.
Right, and so you're mixing this up very well. At home, I'll do this with my hands. And I serve this with a pickled applesauce where I cook up onions and a teeny bit of sugar and vinegar, and I make like a tangy applesauce, which goes really nicely with the latkes.
And tell me what else you have here as well.
So I have from the Healthy Jewish Kitchen matcha mandelbread. Mandelbread is like a classic Jewish biscotti cookie.
Can I try this?
Absolutely. They're made with matcha green tea powder and some whole grain flour, and it's got cranberries, pistachios, and almonds in it as well. And I also have Israeli rugelach. So they're a yeast-based rugelach, but they have almost 50% whole wheat flour. And I do that so that you're getting some fiber when you're eating your holiday desserts.
You can feel good about these desserts.
Right, and also, you shouldn't eat 10 of them. You should eat a few of them, but they should be so good that you'll be satisfied after one or two.
It's moderation, right?
Absolutely. So you take this out of the oven, and it's super, super hot, and then you take your hand and you take these clumps of batter, and when you put it on your pan from the oven, it'll sizzle, and you bake this for about 12 minutes or so, flip them over in another 10 minutes, and you have baked latkes without all the fat. And if it gets a little liquidy while you're cooking, put it in a colander.
Can I taste one of those
You
as
can
well?
definitely taste one of those.
Because they look and smell so good.
And people serve them with sour cream and other things as well.
And you can
it's
just
super easy.
press the moisture out if you
Yeah,
have to.
so if it takes you time, you're doubling the recipe, and you can just squeeze out some of the liquid while you're working. And that way you get like the edges nice and crispy. Everyone's oven's a little different, so you want to see if they look like that. And you can also shred them by hand like Grandma used to with the
Yes,
old-fashioned
I have
grater,
that,
which
yes.
kind of ruins your manicure, but it does do the job. But you can't beat the food processor for volume.
And what do you have over here? Because that
So I
looks good as
also
well.
have, this is one of my favorite cakes from the Holiday Kosher Baker, and it's an olive oil and almond cake. So on Hanukkah, we celebrate the miracle of the oil that lasts in the temple for 8 nights, and this cake has olive oil in it. And I also have cookies with olive oil in that cookbook as well, and it's just like a ground almond, wonderful, simple cake for the holiday if you don't want to eat anything fried. Hey, I'm a big fan of
love that.
donuts for the holiday. I'm actually selling a donut kit online this year.
Oh, very
Yeah,
cool.
with chosen gifts, and so people can make donuts at home. So I try to balance like the healthy food, all the healthy salads and main dishes and side dishes in the book with these wonderful treats. So
these good,
trying to
good
give
things.
everybody everything if I can.
Paula Scheuer, thank you so much for being here. These are delicious.
I'm so glad you
I love
like
it.
them.
I love it. Aaron, I know you're going to want to
We'll be right over there for sure. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.